Today, I remember John Meadows.
All right, hi everybody. John Meadows here.
Every time I feel like I'm running out of time and that I don't have it in me anymore, I just remember him. John always gave 200% of his training. He didn't even have to. He already accomplished more than most people. And the last years of his life, he was mostly a coach, a family man, and a content creator. His focus wasn't competing anymore or reach any particular size or weight. And yet he still trained harder than most young guys trying to get the most results possible. But John did it for the love of the game. For example, here this is his warm up just to a leg day. He always liked to start a heavy squat day with leg curls.
So I like to start with a leg curl. What I like to do is work up to a top set. And on the top set, I like to throw in high intensity techniques. So maybe some 4-strap or a drop set or a cluster set or partials. I like to go crazy on the last set.
This is classic John Meadows. He did that for a lot of exercises, muscles, but this for legs, it stuck with me forever. He always started his leg days most of the time with leg curls, and he went insane. Like, this is just a warm up just to get the knees and the hamstring, a little bit of cushion there for his squats. And he's gonna start doing drop sets. You're gonna see it here, that drop set after drop set and partials and iso holds in the end. All together, it's insane. It's insane. And he did that for volume. It's not the typical HIT approach that I'm going to do one single set to beyond failure and not do that again until a couple of weeks. He did that for a moderate amount of work, and it's insane. This clip is from 6 years ago, so he was 43 around their age, so that's 5 more years than me. He's doing, after a bunch of drop sets, he does the iso hold. It's insane. So he did train with a lot of intensity, a lot, balls to the wall all the time. And before you comment, oh, but steroids, no, no. If that's your first thought, you didn't know Sean, because I know for a fact, steroids or not, his training philosophy and approach would not have changed a bit if he was natural. If anything, if he was natty, he will train even harder probably. So yeah, today I thought about John. I remember him because there's days when I think I don't have it anymore. I'm not young, okay? It's easy. You know what I mean? Easier to train like a madman when you're young, when time is on your side, when there's more ahead of you than behind you. And I do get really inspired by young lifters, current young modern lifters. But like I said, I'm not young anymore, not that young. I'm almost 40 years old, okay? And realistically, maybe I will make it until 80. 90 at most, I don't think so, but let's just say, for the sake of the argument, around 80, 90. So I'm halfway through my life. I have as much behind me as in front of me. And even what's in front of me, maybe I have 15 good years till I'm 50, 55, and less. I mean, yeah, at most 15 good years ahead of me. And sure, there's no age for lifting, and everyone, independently of age, should train and go to the gym and try to get better and stronger and healthier. Sure, but this is not about quality of life. At least, well, not for me at this moment. I train because I want to accomplish something. A particular shape, a particular size, a particular weight, a particular look. And for that, there's definitely an expiration date. And I started quite late to train. The first time I went to a gym, I was 30 years old, right before the pandemic, and then everything shut down. So I was stuck at home with nothing and just started doing push-ups at home for the first year until I got my home gym. And yeah, I got decent results I'm still at it, but I've been training for 5, 6 years at home. I'm sure I'm proud of my progress, whatever. But my concern, what bothers me a little, is that I will never be able to see my full potential. That it will never happen. It will never happen for me. And it's not only about age, about, oh, I'm too old to train intense and heavy. I'm not. That's not the problem here. Like, that's why I remember John, because he was a bit older than me and he trained more intense than anyone else. That's why when I doubt myself, I remember him, because if he could do it, then I should be able as well to give my all my effort. But it's not about that. It's not about if you're able to give 100% of not. It's not about that. It's what you get from it. Not about all you put into it, but what you get from it. And that really depends on your age. You will not get the same. If it doesn't matter if it's 100%, you will not get the same if you're 20 or if you're 40. Same level of intensity, same everything, you will not get the same in return. And what bothers me maybe more, it's how close I was to maybe reach that potential. If I had started maybe 5 years early, just 5 years earlier at 25, around that age, by now I will have like a good 10 years of training experience. And that would be a completely different story. Having a good decade of training experience at 36, I'm 36 now, 37 in a couple of months, it's different than having 5 years, you know? I'm pretty sure I saw a few studies saying that the peak male performance peaks around this age, 30 to 35. So, in theory, I'm at the peak of my strength, performance, and physicality. And sure, I can get better if I keep training what I am today, but I'm not gonna reach that full potential anymore. It's not gonna happen. So if I had started just 5 years earlier and I was peaking now with 10 years of training experience, this will be a different story. But it's not. I'm almost 40, I'm still an intermediate, medium, high intermediate, whatever you want to call it. But by the time I get to those 10 years of lifting experience, I will be way over 40, way over. And by then, there's just not much room to do anything else to get better, to reach to your peak shape. Today, I remember John, and thanks to that, I will just keep working my ass off, trying to be the best I can, but not the best I could. And yeah, maybe I will never be able to see my full potential, but I can still be better than I am today. I guess that's something. But that's the thing with bodybuilding or strength or any sport, actually. If you start too late, you will never be able to experience your peak shape or your peak performance. It's hard. It sucks. It sucks. Once you realize that you're putting all this effort to not even be the best that you could be, it sucks. It sucks. But the alternative, it's so much worse. Like doing nothing, that's even worse. So, yeah, I will just keep going, keep pushing, and try to be slightly better. We should all try and be a little bit more like John.